Hello, Put Me in Coaching family. I am so excited to be back. I'm coming to you from my phone because for whatever reason the computer wouldn't work, but all good. We problem solve and we make it work. Speaking of, that's what we're going to talk about as our topic tonight is making it work even when you don't feel like it. This came up a lot today. How do you stay motivated when you don't feel like it? How do you keep going when maybe you haven't had the best day? So, we're going to talk about all of that and how we continue to forge ahead. Okay, so as we are getting started, if you're watching live, go ahead, drop a hashtag live in the comments. If you're watching the replay, just drop a hashtag replay in the comments. Doesn't matter when you're getting the information, just as long as you're getting the information. I appreciate everyone's patience as I was out for a couple of weeks. I was traveling one week and then I was sick last week. So I appreciate everybody's patience as I made it back to you so I could bring you the best version of myself and also be able to bring the energy and motivation. So I'm super excited about moving into the last half of the year. We talked about that back on July 6th is we are officially in the second half. And so it's time to do the huddle up, the pulse check. Where are we? How are we making progress toward our goals? What do we need to be doing? What do we need to focus on? What do we need to tweak? And when we think about that, it's really important to understand, hey, it's okay if I haven't reached my goals yet. It's okay if maybe I haven't made the progress I wanted to make, because guess what? Today's a clean slate. And we're going to talk about how do we refocus even when maybe we don't quite feel like it. Okay. So thinking about the formula that we follow, the three pillars, what we eat, what we think, and what we do, we have to really assess where is it that maybe I'm not following the plan exactly how I want to. Maybe I'm not getting the results in this area because what I eat, what I think, or what I do, or a combination of any of the three or all three, is maybe not going how it should. Okay, so how do we take a step back and reassess and really focus on little chunks, right? 30, 60, 90 days. You can make a ton of changes in the next 90 days. So when we think about like a 90-day run, we can break it up 30, 60, 90 days. And you can even take those 30 days and break it up into week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, right? How do we do that? Okay. When we talk in terms of small wins, okay, we refocus, we regroup, and we say, okay, what do I need to opt into, right? That's step one. What do I need to opt into? Is it a what I eat, what I think, or what I do? Or is it something in all three? Or is it something in a combination of the two? And then ask yourself, do I know what to do and I'm just not doing it? Or do I need to figure out some sort of education that I can do along with it to really help me reach my goals? And part of that education could simply be personal development. We talked a lot about that when we talked about raising our lid. And when we talk about personal development, there are so many different tools out there, right? I was listening to a YouTube video this morning. It was Eric Thomas, and he said, don't expect front row results when you're only giving nosebleed effort. I thought that was really powerful. It really hit me. I was at like 5:30 this morning. I heard that, was like, oh, that's good. Don't expect front row results if you're only giving nosebleed effort. And you're the only one that can assess that, right? Are you truly giving your best effort? And more often than not, the answer to that is no. It's simply no, and that's okay. But what can you do? What can you opt into? What can you get additional education on? Or what can you do some personal development on to really help you put that effort forward? Okay. And then we're doing the accountability. What can you hold yourself accountable to? to make sure that you are really working toward your goals. So that's the accountability piece. And then the tracking. How are you going to track this? We're logging, right? We're tracking our food. We're tracking our water. We're tracking our supplements. We're tracking our workouts. Because that's how we assess our success during that 30, 60, 90-day run, is we have to have something trackable. And then we have the behavior modification. What do I need to do? What do I need to change? Maybe I've fallen back into a bad habit, or maybe I just need to create a new, better habit. It's not that you've gotten out of the routine of your decent habits or your newly formed habits, but it's time to stack something else. It's time to modify something else so that you continue to get the results. What wins can you celebrate? Are you continuing to track your wins on a daily basis? Somebody asked me this morning, what was something that you would consider a win from last week? And I was sick last week, so I didn't have the best week ever, right? But one win that I had was, listen, I got some much needed rest. We all know I don't rest as much as I probably should because I'm busy building lots of great things for people and lots of great things for my businesses. Okay. And so sleep is just not something that happens all the time. Well, rest, I should say. I always sleep, but rest isn't something that happens on a regular basis because I'm busy building, which is okay. That's the expectation I've set for myself. But I got some much needed rest. And quite frankly, that's probably why I got sick too. I traveled 3 weekends in a row. That's the reality of it. So when we think about how to really dial in, okay, that's the celebrating your wins. And then how are we going to give back? How are we putting our best foot forward? How are we showing up for everyone else in our lives? And this is what you have to do. You can break that down, take the 90-day goal, and then create 60-day goals, and then create 30-day goals. And then you're able to go on a 30, 60, 90-day run. If you think about it, you can do anything for 30 days. And you can even break that down into you can do anything for a week. And then guess what? You can take it a week further and a week more and a week more. And then you get to the end of the 30 days and it's like, hey, listen, this is how far I've come. And there's some motivation because you're going to start seeing some results. And you say, I can do anything for 30 more days. Right? I use that psychology when I'm doing cardio a lot because we all know I don't love cardio. I love the way it makes me feel after, but I don't love it. And so a lot of times I say, okay, just get on the machine and we're just going to go for 30 minutes. And then that 30 minutes I say, okay, but you can do 5 more. Great. You can do 5 more. You can do 5 more. Okay. And so that's how you build up to really getting where you want to go. And so that 30, 60, 90-day run, you can completely transform your life in that 90 days and make a ton of progress. Okay. So what do we do when maybe the willpower is not there? Because it's not all about willpower. You have to create disciplines because willpower alone is not going to get you where you want to be. It's just simply not, because there are so many things surrounding us that test our willpower day in and day out. Okay, so you have to have the discipline to say, no, thank you, or to say, I'm doing it anyway, regardless. I promise you, when my alarm went off at 5 o'clock this morning, I said, I don't want to. Okay, and I said, you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. You didn't work out much last week because you were sick. It's go time. You got to get up, get it together. Right? This was a true conversation I had with myself this morning. Get it together, Carly. It's time to go. Don't even hit the snooze button. You don't have time for that. You've built in just enough time to get to the workout, to get back home, shower, and then get where you need to be. So get up and get moving. It's time to go. And I immediately turned on my Eric Thomas YouTube video, and that's when I heard, don't expect front row seats when you're giving nosebleed effort. It was like it hit at the right exact time. But how have I cultivated those messages to come to YouTube? I open my YouTube app and I just hit play on whatever video is right there because it's exactly what I need. But I've cultivated that over the course of several months, right? I'm always listening to some sort of personal development before I check my social media, before I check my text messages or emails, right? It's immediately water, first thing I do when I wake up, because I read this week, we lose about 1 liter to 1.5 liters of water while we're sleeping because of breathing and sweating and all that, right? And so it's just natural. You've got to replace that. You've got to hydrate your cells as soon as you wake up. So why do you think that's the first thing I do? It's sitting on my nightstand. I drink water. And then we're dance party. And then it's boom. Personal development, motivational videos. I don't necessarily listen to my books in the morning because I need something a little more upbeat to get me going. I still carve out time to do my personal development and the reading in the mornings, or not necessarily in the mornings, but at some point during the day. But I make it a point to listen to something motivational in the morning. And I'll tell you, that typically turns into 3 or 4 YouTube videos. So then it's about an hour long. So that's what I did my entire workout. And it's not always like that. Sometimes I'll listen to something else when I'm working out. But this morning, that's what I needed. And so that's what I did, right? So when you're thinking about your 30, 60, 90-day goals, you've got to reverse engineer it. What's your 90-day goal? What's that lifestyle look like? What is that 90-day goal? And then reverse engineer. What's the activity you need to do in the 30, 60, 90 days to get to those goals? So what activity do you need to put in place? What do you need to opt into? What behavior modifications do you need to make? And then come up with an accountability plan and a tracking plan to make sure you're holding yourself accountable. And then what are you going to do to celebrate the small wins along the way? That's huge. And what's important is that you're not rewarding yourself with food, because what we want to do is build those treats into the plan, right? Because it's not a matter of what you can and can't have. It's a matter of how much and how often. So you're building those treats into your plan so that, guess what? You're still eating on plan even when you're eating off plan. That way, with your mentality, you're not cheating, right? It's just simply, this is what I planned for. I planned for my treat. I enjoyed it. And now I'm planning for X, Y, and Z. You see how simple that is? And that made all the difference in my original journey. It was Friday nights. I was going to enjoy an appetizer wherever I went to dinner. That was my treat for the week. And that allowed me to stay focused on my 30, 60, 90-day run all the way up to 8 months. So if you think about it, I did 2 90-day runs, right? Which is about 6 months. And then I did another 60-day run to really hit my goal. And there it was, 113 pounds gone, 1 pound at a time. But how did I do that? I just got laser focused. I opted in on, hey, I've got to hold myself accountable when it comes to eating right, because that was the biggest thing I had to get control of. And then I slowly added in, hey, we've got to get the workouts done. We've got to add in some additional workouts. I didn't start doing all the extra workouts. I started by simply modifying what I was eating. Okay. And for my first 90 days, it was 90 days, I didn't cheat at all. right? I didn't eat off plan. And then that was me saying cheating, right? I didn't work into my plan any treats. And then finally it was, okay, we've got to work it in. That worked for me. That doesn't have to be what it is for you, right? Do what works for you. I was trying to go very quickly. And so for those first 90 days, that just wasn't in the cards. I had to opt into that. And I just got laser focused on what it is I had to do to reverse engineer. I went to an entire bachelorette party during the second 90 days. Okay, so I go to this bachelorette party. We're camping in the woods. I took my food with me. Right? I took my food. I found a gym close by that I could make sure I could get a workout in because that was the season of my life I was in. And I was unapologetic about it. And guess what? Nobody questioned. Right? I just said, hey, this is what I'm doing. Nobody questioned it. And that's the thing. You have to be unapologetic about what your goals are because no one's going to do it for you. Right? So just ask yourself, are you giving that nosebleed effort or are you giving front row effort? Right? During my 30, 60, 90-day run, that 8 months, so the 2 90-day runs and another 60-day run, I gave front row effort. Right? I gave front row effort because it mattered. My why was so strong. I wanted the health. I wanted the clarity. I wanted to feel good. And guess what? This morning after my workout, after not working out for about a week, I felt amazing this morning. And I've had all kinds of energy. I've been going since 5 o'clock this morning. And I still have several more things that I'm doing tonight. I'm speaking at 7. That's why we did class early. I have a speaking engagement at 7 that I have to do, which is all good, right? I have the energy to do it. I'm excited. I get to show up for myself. And I'm showing up as the best version of myself. So these are the things we get to do when we start really pouring into and believing in ourselves. And we start opting in to our 90-day plan and then reverse engineering the 30, 60, 90 days. What's that going to look like? All right. So I want you to really think about where is it that you need to opt in? What is it this week, this month? So this 30 days, what do you need to opt into to get to your 90-day goal? Right. And we're not adding everything at once. That's too much. That's setting yourself up for failure. So set yourself up for success. What does that 90 days look like for you? And then where can you start at the first 30 days? And then we're going to habit stack, just like in Atomic Habits. We're going to stack on top of each other. Okay. As soon as you get one behavior modification down, you're going to add another and another and another until you get to where you need to be. And I think the biggest mindset is because a lot of people will say, I had too many treats today. I had too many sweet treats or fried treats or whatever. Build in the treats into your plan. Remember, if you're eating 85 to 95% on plan, build those treats around it so you don't have to feel guilty because you're not going off plan at that point. You're still on plan. It's just built into your plan. Okay. All right. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. So happy to be back. We will be back next Sunday, 7 p.m. next Sunday. And until then, please text me your goals and what you are planning to do in the next 90 days. And if you need help with the 30, 60 days, I am happy to do that. I cannot wait to see all of your success over this next 90-day run that we are going to do together. And I will see you back here next Sunday, 7 p.m. Put us in, coach. We are ready to achieve our goals. Have a great